Hello, welcome to my channel, The Hebrew Bible. This is Moses Gumadi. In this video, we will talk about divine names and titles, which I started in the previous video. This is a series I started, and I introduced to you various names and titles of the Lord. In this video, I would like to talk about the words, the name El. El, and its plural Elim. El and Elim. The phrase El Elim occurs in Daniel 11:36. This is the only place where we read this phrase. El Elim means God of gods. And as I shall show you later on, the word means the power of powers, or the power behind all powers, or the force behind all forces. Okay, the source power, or the source force, as it were. Okay, that's the meaning of El Elim. We'll look at the word El and where it occurs and in what contexts and how its meaning is used. So first time we read in Genesis chapter 14 verse 18 the occurrence of the word El. Melchizedek, the king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. He says here where he got the lechem and yayin, that's bread and wine, where hu kohen la El Elyon, he was the priest of the Most High God. Kohen, priest. La El Elyon, he was priest of God Most High. So this word El is God, or the power. The highest power, or the highest God. There is no one be above him. The topmost, at the pinnacle. That's the meaning of El Elyon. So Melchizedek was the worshipper and the priest of El Elyon. He probably was a Canaanite priest, and he was in Jerusalem, king of Salem, but we don't know who he was, and some of the Jews believe that he may have been Shem. But in any case, he was obviously not a Hebrew. He was not an Israelite in any manner. He was obviously not from Abraham's family, and he was an outsider. However, he came to Abraham, to meet with Abraham, and that's what we read. And Abraham responds to, after this encounter with Melchizedek, Abraham says to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto the Lord, the Most High God. If you look here, what he is saying that, and the Vayomer Avram El Melech Sodom Ha Rimoti Yadeh El Adonai El Elyon. So I have lifted up my hands to YHVH. This is the name of the God of Israel. This is the most sacred name of the God of Israel. YHVH Adonai El Elyon. So he is identifying YHVH with El Elyon. So basically, Melchizedek comes, he's described as the Kohen of El Elyon, and Abraham attaches the name of YHVH and says, YHVH, Yehovah, is the El Elyon, the power of all powers. So he basically unifies the concept of El Elyon with the truth of YHVH. Both are one and the same. Okay, so that's why we're saying El is an epithet of YHVH. Okay, we read this elsewhere. Joshua repeats this in 22:22. The Lord God of gods, the Lord God of gods, he knoweth. The people say well, there was a conflict. You can read about it, what happens in Joshua 22. Here it says, El Elohim Adonai. El Elohim Adonai hu Yodea. So, El Elohim Adonai. El Elohim YHVH. This is the name of the Lord in capital letters. That's the name of the God of Israel. He is now called as El, God of gods, El of Elohim. Okay, the power of all powers. There's another verse in Psalm 50, verse 1. The mighty God, even the Lord, hath spoken. El Elohim Adonai, Diber. It's the same phrase, El Elohim Adonai. Okay, so El is attached with YHVH. So El is an epithet of YHVH. That's the name of God. Now, what is the meaning of El? As I said, El is the power. The power behind all powers. El means power or force or might or strength. Not a thing can move without the power. So in physics, there are 4 kinds of forces. If you go to physicists, the material world is consisting of all particles, etc. And then the forces that govern the motion of the particles. There are only 4 kinds of forces. They are strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, electromagnetic force, and gravitational force. These 4 forces basically run the universe. And scientists have realized that these 4 forces are not separate. They don't have separate identities, separate origins without any connection. No, they all come from the same source. So, the forces that act in this world, the 4 forces, plus if any additional different kind of powers that we do not know act in the higher worlds, all these forces put together, they have a single source, single root, and that is El. Not a finger can be moved without El. When you move the finger, the electric pulses that go through your nerves and the chemical reactions, the chemical energy release that happens within the muscle, they are all can be boiled down to one of the 4 forces that I've just described, and ultimately to the root force or a root power of all. That's the meaning of El. Okay, so now are we making up? Definitely not, because that is how it is used in the Bible. The word El is used as power. In fact, the first time it occurs is in Genesis 31. Laban, the father-in-law of Jacob, pursues him and his family when Jacob fled from his place. And he tells him, actually, it is in the power of my hand to do you hurt, but the God of your fathers has appeared to me and told me to, not say anything good or bad. So in that context, he says, it is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. And that word here is, you can read here, Yeshla El Yadi. So it exists in my hand. The power exists in my hand. It is in the power of my hand. Yeshla El Yadi. La Sot Imachem Ra'a. So I can do you evil. So this El is the power. This is not the only place. And there shall be no might in thine hand. We see in Deuteronomy 28:32, we see this word might is El. That's the power. Again, in Nehemiah chapter 5 verse 5, we have El is power. Ve'ain El Yadenu. So there's no power in our hands. That's what he's saying. Now here also, withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. So it's not only physical power, it is the power of will, power of financial power, and authoritative power, power of the king, power of the government, all kinds of power that can make things happen is the power, right? And we see here again El is used. So that is very clear here now, that El means power. Again, one more verse, Micah 2:1, because it is in the power of their hand. Ki yeshla El Yadam. Okay, so El here. Right, so let's come to now the word Elim. Elim is the plural of El. You can see these 2 letters with the tsere is El, and you put a chirik, yud, and mem, that becomes Elim, and that's the plural. Like, sus is horse, and susim is plural, horses. So El is a singular, Elim is plural. Now, the word Elim is never applied to God, the God of Israel. He is called El Elim, but never Elim. So who are these Elim? And what are these forces? So here we read, in Exodus chapter 15 verse 11. Who is like unto thee, O Lord? This Lord is YHWH, okay? O Lord, among the gods. Who is like thee, glorious in holiness? Okay, who is like unto thee, O Lord, among the gods? Mi kamocha Elim Adonai. Who is like thee among the gods, O YHWH or Yehovah? So here we have Elim. Okay, there is no Yud here, but there is a Hirik here. We can see we read as Elim. Oh, by the way, the Maccabees had their name derived from this phrase. Mi chamocha ba Elim Adonai. Mi chamocha ba Elim Adonai ma ka ba ya. So MKBY. That's the Maccabee. Anyway, so here we see Elim are the gods. Oh, so there are no gods. Suppose are there any gods beside the true God? Yes, there are. Not beside. They are not beside. They are. It's if you consider that there are different powers separate from God. With their own separate existence and having their own identity without any connection or deriving any power from the source, then it becomes idolatry. The monotheism of the Bible is that there is only one true source power. If there are multiple small little gods or Elim, they derive source from the true source. It is like this. You got the batteries, running the cars. And where do they get the power from? They get the power from the station that produces. So there could be many lights glowing, or there could be many power equipment that are drilling and show themselves to be very powerful. But then the source comes from a single source, which is the power station. In a similar way, there is no God beside him, means no Elim exists without deriving power from him, even if some of them are naughty, some of them are wicked. They may be using the instrument, they may be using the power for wrong purposes, just as we do. But none of us can lift a finger without the power that comes from God. That's the meaning of the word El. So if these people do not exist at all, then what is the point in praising the Lord like that? Who is like unto thee, O Lord, among the Elim? No, there are different people have worshipped different Elim in the natural forces, the forces of earthquake, the forces of thunder, and the manifestations of the natural powers. But they all come from God. All these natural powers come from a single source, the power of God. That's the meaning. Even if they are personified, even if they are real persons, still their existence and their power comes from Him alone. Okay. Again, give unto the Lord, O ye mighty, give unto the Lord glory and strength. So here the word mighty is Elim, Bene Elim, Bene, sons of Elim. Havul Adonai Bene Elim, Havul Adonai Kevod Ve'otz. Ascribe to YHWH, O sons of Elim, or O Bene Elim. Ascribe to YHWH glory and might and strength, okay, because it comes from Him. That's the meaning. Again, one more verse. There's plenty of verses. The mighty here, again, Bene Elim. Okay, right. So now what is the El? As I said, El is power. See, there is another slight difference in this word, Ail, which is actually, El is, they say that El is a shortened form of Ail. We do not know which one is a shortened form and whether this is an extension of it. But Ail means ram, but not only ram, ram as in this animal here, Ail. And the plural of Ail is Aileem. Aileem, but you have two yuds here, Aleph, Yud, Lamed, Yud, Mem. But you have, in occasions, this yud is missing here. Again, it is pronounced the same way, Aileem. But sometimes the yud, the first yud is missing. And it looks like pretty much the word Elim, which is translated as gods, as we have seen previously. So it's just the same word, and it comes from the word Ail. And it is indeed related because obviously it is the power. Now look at the word Elim, where Elim, but not translated as powers. And he made a covering for the tent of ram's skins dyed red. Obviously these are animals. Ram's skins dyed red. Exodus 36:19. Here we read Elim, Elim, which is the same word which that we have seen earlier. So basically, ram is a symbol of power with those big horns, and it goes and hits, fights with the other rams, etc. So that's the picture, I suppose, given as far as Aileem is concerned, and not for Ale though, but Aileem. Again, the same word Aili, you see, with the yod. So instead of translating as rams, then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed, and the rams of Moab. So who are the rams of Moab? The mighty men of Moab. So the chiefs or the elders or the powerful people in Moab are called Ele Moab, meaning they are like the rams of Moab. So they are the powerful guys. So again, you see the same meaning coming here. So that's the meaning of El and Elim, power and powers. Please do like and comment and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.